Hi there. We've been having quite a few views of the dishes that Ting, my wife, has been cooking. So tonight we're doing something rather special, and this is what it will look like. And here she is to introduce it.
Hi, today I'm going to cook ต้มยำกุ้งแม่น้ำน้ำข้น
And we're just off to the market to get them. This is our local small wholesalers market, which has everything. Huge selection of vegetables, all kinds of meat, fish, what have you, eggs, nuts, spices, roots. This is our prawn man. These are saltwater prawns, which we also got, graded according to size and priced accordingly. But what we're having tonight is freshwater prawns, which you can see here in their tank. Long antennae and legs and stuff. Tasty. Okay, we've got them. We chose them ourselves, and what we're using is for 3 people tonight. The river prawns, which are freshwater prawns, not and they're big. We've got 10 of them here, and 10 of them weighs 400 grams. So there they are. Their heads are still on. They've been peeled, and down the back has been opened to remove their shit pipe. So they'll be, and the tails are still on. And their whiskers have been trimmed, no legs, so they're ready. And just so that you can see, the average size of one of these is about the length of a standard teaspoon. They're big ones, so for 3 people you probably want 400 grams worth of prawns. Now, with that, there is spring onions, a couple of spring onions, prepared, well, not yet, but washed, of course. And then there is coriander, 1 sprig-ish, well, pretty good sprig of coriander with the root on, because like the tom kha, the root will be cut off and used initially for flavouring. Then we have 1 piece of lemongrass, which is the topped and tailed, and we have shown here how you just slice it across for it to dissipate its flavour. Then 4 red chilies, about a couple of inches long, maybe, the longest one. We've got 3 limes ready, depending on how juicy they are, which you don't know until you cut them open. We'll cut them in half and squeeze them and then taste to see how it is, but 3 should be more than enough. Then behind that we have the kaffir leaves by Makrut. There are 2 of those there, a big one and a small one. And then we have 2 large shallots, which really are sort of 4 babyish shallots, all still in their skin. And 1 cube of the legendary kanor, chicken stock cube powder, whatever. Here is the root galangal, kha here it's called, one of the ginger family. Don't substitute ginger for it, it will not be nice. Galangal, and it will be sliced, and the green bit probably jettisoned, I should think. And then we have namprik pao, which is roasted chilies in a sort of paste with other bits and pieces. Who knows what else goes in there, but you get it in a jar like this. This is so you can always compare online or in your supermarket. That's namprik pao. Now, they make it with tom yum flavour, or they make it without. So as we're making tom yum, it says tom yum there. And we've got, for tonight, 2 extremely generously heaped teaspoonfuls of namprik pao. It's what gives the colour and the flavour, and those little orange droplets that float around on the top and are absolutely lovely. Here we have the straw mushrooms as well, very important, which we've sliced already. It's a good handful of straw mushrooms. I should think 10 or 11 or 12 straw mushrooms, probably about 150 grams of mushrooms, I would guess at that. And the only other thing that you probably heard my wife say at the beginning, that it was tom yum Goong nam nam kon, which means, nam kon, which means that there are two types of tom yum. One has a clear liquid soup, and one has a creamy soup, which is very popular these days. Nam kon means it is the creamy side, and the creaminess you get from adding whichever evaporated milk you have to hand. In our case, it's carnation. And you'll see that as before. We put a drop on it, which is usually a bit more of a deluge. The only other thing, which I haven't mentioned yet, is we will need 700 milliliters of water. Spring water, natural mineral water is best, but filtered or tap water if it's all right and unpolluted. And there we go. So that's the ingredients, and we're just switching the gas on, and we'll heat the water up and come back once it's heated. Okay, all the preparation has now been done. As you can see, the spring onions and the coriander have been chopped into pieces about an inch long. The lemongrass is in 3 pieces. The chilies have been chopped into small pieces. The Knorr chicken stock is in 9 cubettes. The galangal has been cut into 3 large strips. The shallots have been chopped. The kaffir leaves have been broken up. The limes have been squeezed. And the coriander root has been taken off and smashed with a big knife to make it flat. It breaks up so all the flavour goes in. On the stove, we've got the 700 milliliters of water there waiting. So now we start, and in goes, to begin with, the gas goes up, and in goes the greenery, what's it called? The takrai, what's it called? The lemongrass, the galangal, and the root of the coriander. Then the shallots go in. The pieces of shallot go in. And in goes the broken up kaffir leaves are in. And that all gets a stir round. So the hot water, the gas is on pretty high at the moment to keep it boiling, get the flavours out. Next is the stock cube. You drop the pieces in, and stirring will dissolve it. Already I can smell lovely smells coming out of there. It's of course the lemongrass and the kha which emit the smells to begin with, and no doubt the shallots do as well, I suspect. That's good. The next thing that goes in is the straw mushrooms, which are tossed lightly in. And then we have another quick stir, which helps the Knorr dissolve and keeps it all moving around. Now, the namprik pau. Pop that in. And that seeps its flavour out. You mush it up against the bottom of the saucepan and stir it all around. see, and it lends its famous colour to the soup. Also imparts the most exquisite aroma. Absolutely lovely. If it looks as if it's going to boil too fast, then you turn it down a bit, as it is now. So we're turning the gas down a little bit. So it stays boiling, but not too fast. And that leaves us ready to put in the next thing, which is the river prawns. Have to be very gentle with those. They go in. They're big river prawns, and rather a treat, in fact. Their heads have a lot of flavour in them, which is why they're left on there. But once you have your plate of rice that you eat the soup with, you take one of them out and the head slips off you just pinch it at the neck and that comes off. And the tails, as the prawns are fresh, the tails you can pull off. You can hold the ends of the tails between your fingers and with your teeth pull on the prawn meat, and it will come out, and you just discard the crunchy tail. Those are in.
Let it cook for 5 minutes and then we come back.
Okay, we're going to let it cook for 5 minutes and then we'll be back. So 5 minutes up, look at that. The colour's out, the flavour's out, the smell's out, and we want to be in the sitting room or the dining room, eating. Almost finished now. So this is how much evaporated milk you use. 2 tablespoons, I should think, in 700 ml. And it gives it that lovely, creamy, milky flavour as well as look, which is nice. And gather up the chilies. They go in and have a stir round. And then the greens. We've turned the gas off.
And I want to put on top.
Okay, we've left a bit of the chopped coriander and spring onions for sprinkling on top of the soup. All that's left is the lime juice, which we have to put in and then taste to see how it is. We'll put half of it in, just over half to begin with, and then taste it. And doesn't that look delicious? Look at those prawns as well. Don't want to leave it cooking for too long, otherwise the prawns go hard.
Need more.
It needs a bit more.
Probably all of it.
There we are. So there you are, 3 average sized limes worth of juice in there. Is that good?
Yeah, yummy.
Okay. Yummy. So now we've got this bowl, and you transfer carefully. Look at those prawns. And a spoonful of rice with the juice of the soup and some prawn and the mushrooms, the straw mushrooms, and a bit of the chopped coriander and spring onion. It's absolutely delicious. The rice is wonderful on its own with just some soup on top of it. So there we go. That's a 700 ml helping, which it's not enough for three. Not such a bad size. And then the sprinkling on the top, plus the remaining juice, and it'll go. So all it needs now is some Thai fragrant jasmine rice to go with it, and there you have it. Tom Yum Goong, Mae Nam Nam Kon. Lovely. Hope you enjoy it as much as we do.